Let's see what we have today. I'm using the Little Prince tarot cards that I just received yesterday. Have you all read the book, The Little Prince? I absolutely love the story, and it helped me move forward from a very stuck place. Before ordering the cards, I didn't really think. I was like, oh my god, the Little Prince tarot cards, and I have to have them, obviously, because the story really helped me move forward. It was the book was lying around in at a friend's place, and then I read it, and I wrote a blog about it. I wrote an article about it. It was a book review, but not really. I wrote about what I felt, and then the journey began where I started my blog and changed completely what I do in life, and it was just the beginning, and now it's reached this point where I am reading tarot cards online. I mean, I'm making videos on tarot cards, and of course I do intend to continue with my other projects as well. But what I've noticed is that even though I've made changes, it's still the same. Reality jumping and moving to the timeline, that is essential, and for that there is so much that we will have to heal from. Okay, so the suggestion is let the healing begin, whatever your process is. All right, whatever your process is for healing, but a hermit mode is recommended. Hermit mode is recommended, even if you all have done hermit mode before and you're like, oh well, it just never gets me anything, and I keep feeling lonely, right? And alone. But trust me, this time around it's going to be different, no matter what your age is. And I'm not talking about just avoiding places and people in general, and isolating yourself. I'm talking about being in a contemplative state. Be actively reading and deep thinking about the things that you are being asked to read and watch or listen to, okay? Which will include tarot readings and other material. Okay, so it's important, and also see how you feel about it, okay? What impact is it having on you? If you find something jarring, still read the content, so you know this is something that that content has triggered something in you, or the person giving you that message has triggered something in you. So it would generally mean that that person is from the set of people or the type of person who belongs to the group of people, whether connected to the group of people or the set of people in your life or not. It doesn't matter, and I don't think most of them are, but you are getting a stranger's perspective on the type of people in your life or the set of things in your life, okay? It could be career or personal, social, anything, okay? When I say people, places, and things, all right? They could be a complete stranger that is going to talk to you about things such as the ones that have been harmful towards you, that have been holding you back and have just now become very, very diabolical, okay? Very, very diabolical. So we have the Six of Cups past. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is about your childhood, and then we have this. Okay, so this is the part of the story where the pilot and the little prince have possibly just met, and he's talking to him about the drawing, about the box. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about the story, okay, but I am of course going to read from the guidebook, because I want to see how they have turned this into a guidebook. So with the Dungeons and Dragons tarot cards, I've heard of Dungeons and Dragons references, and I have played board games, but but I really didn't know. And of course, I love folklore and mythical creatures, etc., etc. So, I mean, that's about it. So I didn't know this, but I know Dungeons and Dragons, how to read those cards as much, but intuitively I can read them. But I know this story quite well, even though I've forgotten it, okay? To be honest, it's been a very long time. It's not like I'm going to read this story over. It probably has been 5 years. It's definitely been about... when did I first read? I think 2014, so about... the first time I read this book, and I know it's funny, it's like I don't know why, but I'd never heard of this story when I was growing up. There was no reference anywhere. It's insane. And I was always an avid reader, and so was the rest of my family, and somehow this was like a hidden gem. But I know that, like, I read this story, and like I said, I have written a set of articles, but life took me in some very different directions, where it's been 9 years since the first time I read this book, and most possibly 7 years since the last time I read this book. All right, the sun's shining in my face, so I might draw the curtains. And I knew this was going to happen, okay? It's strange, I know, but please draw... Six of Cups means, please draw me a sheep. The little prince joyfully receives the aviator's drawing of a sheep in a box. A generally happy card. The Six of Cups is about pleasure and harmony, a pleasant exchange of energy. All right, so something that has been masquerading from your childhood, which is as a set of happy memories, okay? That, let's see, and I knew this card was going to come out. Like, I knew the first reading this card was going to come out, because as I was going through the cards yesterday. So whenever I receive my order of a new set of cards, I first go through them in sequence and then put them back in sequence, okay? I just look at the artwork and I see what card it is. That's about it. So in the past, we have the Six of Cups. In the present, we have the Four of Wands. That's lovely. Okay, we have the prince and the fox dancing, enjoying their friendship. And then we have the Page of Pentacles in the future. So I have a feeling that this energy, this Page of Pentacles energy, that's coming up in the future is going to be very, very important. Something from your childhood that required you to block out the truth of something very bad that happened to you, or you witnessed something very bad happening to you, that is going to open up for you to learn. Like I said, for a very long time, The Little Prince, the story, the book, was hidden from me. Okay, I've read it all, Roald Dahl, in everyone, like, you know, Leo Tolstoy. When I was a child, I know I did, but I did, and when I read it 900 ago, I definitely wasn't a child. I was quite a grown adult. Okay. Today is not the day for me to mention my age. I don't know nothing about secrecy or privacy or anything like that. It's just not, it doesn't feel like the right time to talk about my age. Two of Pentacles. We have the pilot holding the hat. That's the elephant, I think. Okay. A drawing of an elephant. And then we have the little prince. The Little Prince was another things that that was the real inspiration for me to not inspiration, like the motivation for me to say, okay, I think it's time that I start writing my stories, my own stories, like, you know, start working on my books, story books, because it's such a lovely story, and it's so me, it's something that the style of writing. And we have the Fool card at the bottom of the deck. What lovely synchronicity. I was talking about this card, and this is the Little Prince. I think it's just like, it's a time when he just gets here, obviously, to Earth, like he doesn't know what was happening. All right, so definitely like the way this book appeared to me at the right time, at the right place, and it just opened up a Pandora's box. Okay, Pandora's box, the drawing of the box, and then we have the actual box in the prince's hand, and then we have the Ten of Swords. Okay, so an important energy that's been coming up, trying to convey something to us. Okay, something is ending, something sinister is ending, something gruesome, something macabre is ending. But you are going to have to learn how to do it. It begins with this being introduced to this Page of Pentacles energy. It's different. It's different type of learning. It's not something you're used to, okay? Let's see I want to see what the Page of Pentacles, what is it saying about the Page of Pentacles? The vain man, a person just beginning to learn how to make a living in the world, figuring it all out. Okay, so you are definitely going to be introduced to this energy of vanity that is being there. I'm not saying that there's going to be one person. There could be many people. For some of you, you might have already started this, being introduced to these vainglorious folk. All right, the Dorian Grays and the Wayne Man. When the Wayne Man basically, I forgot. Like, I think he keeps counting all the stars in the sky, and then. No, that's the astronomer. Okay, I'm going to mix up a lot of characters, so I'm not even going to get into it. So the guidebook, what it says, so this is very, very, you are going to, now that you have seen the fake persona is basically what, in the category of good versus evil, okay? But the vanity, you cannot differentiate it like that. You cannot call it either good or evil. Vain is vain. It's literally, it's wasteful. This is a wastrel. All right, and Then there is vain, vanity, and then vainglorious. Like, there are these three levels of it. All right. There definitely, I think you might have already started seeing this energy play out in a lot of people, but I think it's going to crystallize into one person that's going to come into your life. This is a new person, and this person is a lesson. All right. This is definitely in no way, shape, or form anything other than platonic. I don't even think that there is any friendship here. Okay, this is just an introduction, and you're going to watch that. I wanted to say rubbish, and yes, it is what it is. It's rubbish. All right. And you are definitely going to see a lot of familiar faces in this. A lot of familiar faces. So because we have the Six of Cups here, so that's familiarity. There's somebody from the past, but I do feel there is something to do with the past life, or somebody from very early childhood, very, very early childhood, that might pop up for you to watch and observe for a while. It could be that as well for very, very few people. And it's going to trigger a set of observations of your reality that you will be very, very happy to learn. At the same time, you are going to be very, very horrified. You're going to be definitely horrified, okay? Meeting this energy in a human form, or being introduced to it through a chance meeting with somebody from your early childhood, a grown-up, definitely. When it's triggered, it's horrifying. It's mortifying. I wanted to say mortifying before, but then I chose to say horrifying. Then the two. Let's read the Two of Pentacles. What do they have to? Since we're on the Pentacles, it's about money. Okay. I also wanted to tell you that right now, whatever hardships you are facing, however nasty this world and the surroundings might seem to you right now, it's all because of money and wealth. Everything, every negative emotion is stemming from there. That is the category, okay? And you might be unusually comfortable. Generally, people who are inclined to spirituality or watching tarot cards in a very sane and stable manner. I'm sorry, that's why I'm struggling a little bit. The stool was too far out of the frame, but yes, okay. I think you can kind of see the cards. I don't know if it's going to be very clear, but where was I? Okay, yes, it's going to be about property and money, okay, what you own. And it's going to be tough to see the real faces, see the truth behind people, and you might feel like you've wasted a lot of time thinking about if you've made any mistake and how you could fix it. Two of Pentacles. Let's see what the guidebook has to say. That was my intuitive read about it. If you're one of those who are very comfortable, right? If you're very comfortable with what you have, however large or small, it doesn't matter. a person who is uncomfortable with what they have will never be satisfied. They will be stuck in this sort of behavior. And this is an energy. It will inhibit, it will be absorbed by the people who are either supposed to convey this message to you. Okay, so it could be like, one of your close people, the people who are in physical close proximity around you, might be hit with this energy for a few moments, and then you're like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? Or there might be people around you who are so insecure, who are so uncomfortable with the fact that you are so secure and comfortable with whatever you have. Okay, they are never looking at what they have. They're always looking at what you have. You will have this set of people. If you've come to this reading, you will have this set of people. Okay, so you might have thought really, really hard and wasted a lot of time in your life thinking about what you've done wrong to other people. Okay, in these scenarios, when either you or they were being hit with this negative energy, to teach each other about this negative energy. As at the same time, you might have blamed yourself, or not blamed yourself, but at least taken the time out to think about what you have done wrong in scenarios it got nothing to do with you. All right, it just is what it is, right? The aviator sits in front of his broken plane and with a wrench in one hand and his drawing of a hat. Yeah, I said the elephant trapped in a snake. And that's what the prince says to him, like, it looks like an elephant trapped in a snake. A drawing of a hat in the other. The two of coins represents a time where there are two tasks at hand and balance must be achieved. It also indicates seemingly polar opposites that interplay together, yin and yang. Yeah, this is exactly why there is some sort of alchemical process going on inside of you, okay? And it is activating a lot of important information, memories, which you will not remember word to word. So when people, you've heard people say in movies or read it somewhere or heard actual people say this, my memory is not what it used to be. It's because it's transformed. You are not going to be doing things like being able to recollect every memory verbatim, but you are going to be able to utilize it and play it out as a scenario in your life. So it has expanded, it has transformed, it has become more powerful for you to resolve and put an end to it. Some of you, I really feel, whoever has come across this video, it's really got nothing to do with you. It's about your surroundings. Why I am saying that is because you are at the point where you're leaving this timeline for good to the timeline that you belong to, okay? And there's going to be a massive shift of reality. You will get this message and confirmation from somewhere else as well. So the reason why I suggested hermit mode is because of what is mentioned here as well, yin and yang, okay? So it also indicates seemingly polar opposites that interplay together, yin and yang. So the two polarities within you, they are communicating. That is exactly why the memory has been elaborated to you in the physical material world. And now it's over. It's really done, except for the last vain boss. of the game here, a memory game. All right, so let's read the Four of Wands. What's happening right now is it's actually very, very lovely. So the Four of Wands is the present, the card that indicates what energies are at play at present. The little prince and fox play together in a field of golden wheat. The Four of Wands is about satisfaction and enjoyment after the work of the Three of Wands establishes a spiritual space. It's almost like a finish line where we can find and rest and respite, establish a spiritual practice and relish in it, rejoice. Again, like I said, hermit mode is advice. It's going to be completely different than what it is before, okay? But of course, like we have the usual stuff. There is a rose flying off as well. Why doesn't the guidebook mention this? Anyway, but The Little Prince and His Rose, if any of you have read the book, like I'm sure a lot of you have. So it's over. It's really, really over. It's really done. And you know it very, very well at this point. You do know it very well. But the thing is, the people who have inflicted a lot of damage by being vain about this, there are a lot of people who have done that, you know, who felt that they were better than you because they were supposed to be teaching you this lesson. I'm not saying all have, but definitely very few. Like you can, I don't even know if you can count them, because people who are a part of this lesson are seeming quite bullish here to me, okay? To me, are bullish. They have definitely been very, very unkind, absolutely, they've robbed you of as much happiness as they could, as much comfort as they could. Materially, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you're untouchable, okay? You're unreachable, unfathomable. They can't. So even if they've taught you this important lesson, they were very stingy and also very unkind and very, very bullish and very self-assured in that. Say, of course, I'm supposed to teach Cold Fire Taros Collective such and such lesson. Of course, I'm better than them, like, you know, and I'm better than them, and they owe me money, and they owe me something, okay? It's like that. I'm getting that kind of an energy here. They've robbed a lot from you. They've taken a lot from you. The Little Prince and Fox play together in a field of golden wheat. The Four of Wands is about satisfaction and enjoyment after the work of the Three of Wands establishes a spiritual space. It's almost like a finish line where we can find rest and respite, establish a spiritual practice and relish in it, rejoice. A spiritual practice is where you will be connecting in this body purely with your spirit, with your soul, okay? You don't have to go anywhere, and I really do recommend that you spend as much time as possible by yourself, with least possible human interactions. But of course, do interact with like at least one or two people in a very, very normal, in a very non-evasive way, all right? Because you are leaving this, so it's better to keep the attachments minimum, or even detachment minimum. You go, like, if you're meeting someone regularly, constantly accessing the spaces where you're meeting hordes and hordes of people and lots of interactions, you are adding to the list of to-do list of the people you're supposed, the detachments you're supposed to be going through, if that makes sense. The Fool card, let's see what the Fool card has to say. I'm super excited I got the Fool card and this card. I was so right about both. The Fool is youthful innocence and exuberance. It is the inner child in all of us moving forward without a care in the world to new beginnings. Well, we all know the Fool card is new beginnings. Life is beauty and ignorance is bliss. The conscious mind knows not the secrets and truths held deep in the subconscious. Like I said, you're not going to know how amazing this is going to be. It's not possible to know because this was kept very deep within your subconscious and unconscious, so that it's this timeline, this real timeline, okay, your real happily ever after was kept very, very deep within, hidden. And good job in doing that so far. But for you to now remember where you're supposed to be, how you, what it is, the how will present itself to you if you know where. Okay? So I do also recommend writing things down, or just like sit and daydream, okay? Sit and daydream. Just listen to your mind, listen to your thoughts, listen to your heart, because there is something very, very poisonous that you're going to have to accept that happened to you, and then detach from that memory, let it play out in the way whatever, because whatever is in your mind is going to play out in the physical dimension, let me tell you that. So but you've reached a place where you're going to be healing that. You're going to be healing that. Especially the last portion, the full and final portion, trust me, is about you understanding that you've been blaming yourself for something that you didn't do. You just did not do. And you've lived your life doing that in certain scenarios, or based off of that lie you told yourself, that you blamed yourself, you try to find some or the other fault within yourself that created this scenario, this adverse scenario for you. So, or this wrong connection that you made, this bad spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend or friend, or bad business partner decision, or bad job place decision, whatever you think. You were trained to first blame yourself, okay? You were trained to blame yourself by all the people close to you. There is a reason, because on this timeline, you had to blame yourself. But this is not your true timeline. You were lied to make you feel, so that you stay here and provide a lot of slave labor. You were held hostage here on this timeline. Okay? You were held hostage here on this timeline. And they absolutely, nobody liked it that you were moving on, okay? Nobody liked it that you were moving on and going on to the other timeline. Because that version of them, they are incapable of seeing on this timeline. That is what makes you different. That you are able to see a version of you exactly the way you are on that timeline, but absolutely devoid of the toxic behaviors and the thoughts that you have here. You have very bright and beautiful, wonderful thoughts in that avatar, and the small glimpses that you have got of that timeline, that real timeline. So, but the others are incapable of seeing that. they feel that they will lose you if they don't have you in their life, or a part of, if they're not a part of their life. It's different where people are worried or trying to figure you out, like, size you up, like, is he or she okay, like, all right, is she on the right page? There are a lot of people who are your companions, and they haven't got a chance to be a part of your life. They are just trying to figure out if from you that if it is finally the time where we leave this timeline for good and go. Is it finally that time? So this is what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.